What will we do with this moment? How will we be remembered? Look at the opportunities before us.
This election really isn't about the left versus the right. It's about we the people choosing our government and the choice between freedom versus tyranny.
Nobody has a chronic disease burden like we have. Why are we allowing this to happen to our children? Ultimately, the only thing that will save our country is if we choose to love our kids more than we hate each other.
What is going on here is deeper than politics. It is deeply spiritual. We are being called to rise above the hatred and the fear and the evil.
We need to remember above and beyond that we must love our neighbors, that we must treat other people as we hope to be treated.
You want to be a rebel? You want to be a hippie? You want to stick it to the man? Show up on your college campus and try calling yourself a conservative.
America is going to reach heights that it has never seen before. The future is going to be amazing!
Do you want healthy children? Don't you want a president that's going to make America healthy again?
Come to you today as a former Democrat. I will be a first-time Trump voter tonight.
The people dreamed this country, and it's the people who are making America great again.
This is Fanfare with Barry Cunningham.
So before I get into a bunch of exciting winning, I just want to acknowledge what has happened out in Wisconsin. It seems a number of school kids lost their life. I'm going to be delicate for the censors here. And it may have been at the hands of, well, you're going to hear. Don't want to speculate, but it looks like it might be one of those people. In any event, I know people like to say thoughts and prayers. I'm going to hold off on the thoughts. My wife and I have been praying for these families. I can't even imagine losing a child at that age. I can't imagine losing a grandchild, a niece, a nephew. Somebody goes to school one morning and then they don't come home. And it's unnecessary. I know that a stop could be put to it. It can be stopped. We just have to, as a country, in my mind, do what's necessary. I know there's a lot of people who don't like to see, heavy artillery in schools, but those precious lives that were lost today deserved protection. They absolutely deserve protection, and I believe at this point it's at any cost. I don't care if you have to put magnetometers, which is the things we have to go through at airports, whatever we have to do, we have to protect children. I'm not sure what is wrong with this country that have put children at such a low priority. You know, the 500,000 that are missing and all the stuff that we've heard, and now our schools this kind of stuff is happening solely because people are ideologically nuts. Secure the kids. That's what I want. Secure the kids. You can probably do it in volunteers. I'm pretty sure there's enough vets and people out there who would make sure that schools were secure. So I pray for the families. I pray for the young ones who lost their lives, and I pray for the young ones who didn't, because they've been scarred probably irreparably. The old song by Pearl Jam, Jeremy spoke in school today. Well, Jeremy spoke in school today, and it's been happening way too much. We got to do something. All right, let's on to that being said, let's get on to what we're going to talk about today.
As the number of CEOs visiting the president-elect continues to grow, Sarah is here with some news this morning on SoftBank. Morning, Sarah.
Good morning, guys. So yes, we've learned, according to sources familiar with the matter, that Massa's son, the CEO of SoftBank, is at Mar-a-Lago today, and he and the president-elect are going to be out with a huge announcement this morning that Massa will commit to investing $100 billion in the United States between now and 2029, the end of President Trump's term, and that he is also pledging to create jobs, 100,000 jobs with this announcement. This may sound a little familiar to you because back in 2016, Massa's son went to Trump Tower and he pledged half of that, $50 billion investment with 50,000 jobs to be created in the United States. That was at the time where he was raising money and had just created the Vision Fund. And so that money did get fulfilled in terms of investments in the United States in hundreds of company investments that the Vision Fund made, including, of course, WeWork. Didn't turn out so well. But ultimately, he can say promise fulfilled on that one. This one, much more ambitious. So I've learned that we can expect this announcement come later this morning. And it's obviously a big deal for President-elect Trump, who's trying to create investment and jobs.
Sarah, is he wants money coming in and jobs being created through, typically, I think in his mind, manufacturing, people making things in factories or maybe at companies. I just wonder, you referenced the $50 billion that was invested from the Vision Fund into many private companies 8-9 years ago or over that period of time. I don't know how many jobs that created.
It's hard to calculate how many jobs.
Is it going to be the same thing this time?
Not necessarily. So what I've learned is this one is going to be really focused on AI because we know Massa has been very public lately about how bullish he is on AI. And from what I understand, it could also come in the form of capital investments around AI infrastructure.
This is going to be absolutely huge. Yesterday I had a beginner's course on Bitcoin, and some people freaked out. I knew they would. And I know now you're seeing this guy who is like an AI genius ready to come into the United States and drop $100 billion. And a lot of what he's putting the money behind is AI. So we've got two things that, how can I say this, traditional Trump supporters can't really wrap their arms around. It's out there. It's in the ether. And they can't see it. They don't understand it. And they think something's wrong with it. $100 billion should tell you it's big, big, big business. AI will help drive crypto, and crypto will help drive AI, and AI is driving everything. You may not know it. You may not realize it right now, but big money is getting behind AI.
Think data centers, chips, energy production, what's needed around AI to build in this country. So that's more along the lines of what you said President-elect Trump probably would be interested in. But this president is a lot more focused, I would say, on technology and AI, certainly than he was last time around. He's got David Sachs as the czar on AI and crypto. He's now met or will meet with a lot of the big CEOs in technology. So I feel like this announcement actually around AI is very much on par with what the president-elect is thinking about and hearing about from supporters and advisors.
He's definitely been, I don't know, did you see those comments from Mark Andreessen about the Biden administration and their approach to AI?
So I've got a clip, I think it's during the 10 at the end of the show, with what happened with Mark Andreessen and what the Biden administration tried to do about AI.
How different it's going to be. He seemed very frustrated with that. Although I would point out, data centers do not employ many people. Building them, you get some people, but ultimately when they're up and running,
they're capital intensive, so a lot of investment.
Yes, a lot of investment, not a lot of jobs.
The most money in the world.
This is 100,000 jobs, though, right?
100,000 jobs, along with $100 billion, which is a very large number.
The one area of the economy we do not need money for is AI. Everyone's throwing money at AI. They are. I mean, look, we need semi. If we want to, especially Intel needs money. They don't have the money to do what they're doing. Now,
well, that's part of it.
Yeah, and then that would be terrific. To fulfill that desire would be great, rather have private than public money in that. Public money found its way into Intel.
It's true, and we know that they've committed, for instance, to investing in OpenAI. This could obviously be part of that investment. They have ARM, which there could be investments of obviously in the chip maker as well as part of that. But the reason I think it's politically so good and important, not just is it investment in the United States, which Trump himself has been soliciting and is a sign of faith and bullishness in that message, but also keeping AI in the leadership hands of the United States of America.
News, and I'm glad you had the story. I'm very glad you broke the story.
Although, don't you wonder whether they would have invested it anyway, and it's just a good opportunity?
We don't know we don't know what the prior benchmark was.
You know how this goes.
This is, he's got the Vision Fund. This is where you invest it because, frankly, there are a handful, but very few other places where you can invest in
But now you
companies.
get in the good graces of the president.
Right.
Don't forget the ARM Qualcomm lawsuit starts today.
Yes, that's actually a good point.
Qualcomm loses. Nice to meet you.
So it's very interesting that some of the people, we haven't seen this kind of investment. $100 billion, $100 billion. And you're going to hear when he talks, it may end up doubling. Trump's not even in office yet. Trump has yet to step foot into the Oval Office, and he's already making stuff happen. You know what I call that?
We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more.
And I'm sure there's a lot of questions. People are like, well, how does it help me? How does AI have anything to do with my daily life? Well, everything that you do from the time you wake up until the time you go to bed, and probably even while you're asleep, AI is beginning to permeate all of those areas. You may not know it yet, but your coffee machine was probably manufactured, if it's within the last couple of years, has AI involved in it. Your phone definitely has AI in it. The advertisements that you see, the entertainment that you watch, it all is coming in involving and driving AI. And it's really helping people in all walks of life. I mean, you can solve complex problems very quickly, and Trump knows where he wants to head with this stuff. And it's not the same as automation. It's like this huge brain. I use it all the time. Robin, she was a little bit resistant. She goes, tell me what you're doing with this AI. And I would bring her in here and I would say, look. And even with making videos, I can click a couple different buttons and say, remove this word, insert this. And it happens. If you know how to use it, just like any other tool in a toolbox, you can, make good with it. But that's all I'm going to say about AI. Let's listen to what Trump had to say today at his presser.
Concluded a very productive meeting, and today I'm thrilled to announce that SoftBank will be investing $100 billion in America, creating 100,000 American jobs at a minimum. And he's doing this because he feels very optimistic about our country since the election. This historic investment is a monumental demonstration of confidence in America's future, and it will help ensure that artificial intelligence, emerging technologies, and other industries of tomorrow are built, created, and grown right here in the USA.
Your president is calling for it. Just like yesterday, I know it pissed some people off, but your president is calling for Bitcoin. Your president is calling for development and innovation of AI. These are things you're going to have to accept. The genie's out the bottle. This is what world economics is right now. It's where, again, as I say, where the puck is headed. And so if Elon and Vivek can dig in and say we can save money here and we can save money there, and we can do this and we can do that, so that the rest of the country is more profitable, then that's something that's definitely worthwhile.
Wonderful things about Massa is he's very much involved with emerging technology, probably knows it maybe better than almost anybody. So it's a great honor. And some of you remember after the 2016 election, also SoftBank committed to invest $50 billion in our country, and they did. And I'm very pleased to say that they kept that promise in every way, shape, and form. And now they're looking to do 100. And I've looked at their books. They do have the possibility of doing more. I'm going to ask them to do a little bit more, but I'm
Okay, so Trump just gave you he just dropped a little bit of a hint. He's like, I've looked at their numbers. They got 100, but they could do more. So I'm going to ask him to do more. So the guy's like, yeah, I'll give you 100 billion. Trump's like, no, man, you got to come up with more than that. Come on, bro. Listen.
Decided to go, and we were discussing, and President Trump said, Masa, double down is not enough. Maybe, go for more, right?
That's what I'm going to ask him right now. Would you make it $200 billion and say he can actually, believe it or not, he can actually afford to do that.
So understand what you're seeing is a negotiation in real time, and you're getting to peek into these two guys who understand economics at this level. And he's like, hey, man, I've seen your books. You can afford it. Give me two, not just one.
Would you do that?
Well, my promise is 100, but, he's now asking to do more. I think, with your leadership, my partnership with you, with your support, I will try to make it happen.
That's good. All right, 200. He'll make it happen.
I love watching negotiations, and I just love what Trump did. That's nice. 200. 200, little guy.
100 billion investment.
He is a great negotiator.
Now watch Trump come in with the power move. We talked about this when he went to France. Look, watch the power move. He just grabs the whole little guy and goes, get in here, get in here.
He's a brilliant guy and did an unbelievable job, and the people of Japan and all over the world are very proud of him. They have tremendous respect for him. So when he does what he just did, and I would be surprised if it didn't go to 2. When you say you'll try, I know you'll do it.
I will really try.
As I said, small business optimism took a 41-point jump. 41 points. It went up 41 points. That's unheard of. And that's the biggest they think in recorded history, but they know at least a minimum of 39 years, so that's great. But on behalf of the American people, I want to thank Masa for his faith in what's happening with our country and what's happening with the world. There's a whole light over the entire world. Many people, some reporters, in speaking to them, they said, it actually is true. A couple of them are not necessarily friends of mine, but they said it is actually true that there's a light shining over the world. We're trying to help very strongly in getting the hostages back, as you know, with Israel and the Middle East. We're working very much on that. We're trying to get the war stopped, that horrible war that's going on in Ukraine, with Russia, Ukraine. We're going to, we've got a little progress. It's a tough one. It's a nasty one. It's nasty. People are being killed at levels that nobody's ever seen. It's very level.
So I have a question. You're a Democrat right now. You're a Democrat and you're watching this press conference. Are you hoping against this success? You're seeing a guy who may put in one guy may put in $200 billion into the American economy. You have a president come in, we're going to stop the war over in Israel. We're going to stop the war over in Ukraine. Are you serious? You're betting against this? You're hoping it doesn't happen? This is, as you're going to see today, there are a number of reasons, you're watching it, why I don't think the Democrats have a chance anytime soon. I keep saying it. Is because in order for them to win, they have to openly root against all of this happening. And this is what's going on before he even gets in the office. $200 billion from one guy. Tim Cook from Apple goes down. Jeff Bezos from Amazon, I think it's Wednesday or Thursday. Zuckerberg, Google, they're all beating a trail to Mar-a-Lago. They all are shaking hands and figuring out what are we going to do. So you as a Democrat, what's your positioning right now? You're seeing somebody who's pushing Bitcoin, who's pushing AI, who's pushing foreign investment, saying bring the money here. You want to stop that war. We want to stop that war. What's your argument at this point? I don't see how you could possibly have one. I mean, you're still going to be talking about baby removal and Transformers? Is that your argument? That's why what I've been saying, as we see more and more of this, and this is still 30-something days away from him getting in office, and we're looking at this and going, doesn't every American see this as value? Do people you talk to in your family, who you work with, now that they've realized a lot of the stuff that the left said was BS, don't they sit back and go, yeah, I want that. I want that. Yeah, I want that. What's the opposition? What's the opposite of what he's trying to do that you think people would want? No, we don't want foreign investment. We don't want 200 billion. No. 100,000 jobs? No, we don't want that. We're going to stop all these wars. Oh, no, we don't want that. We're going to develop AI. No, but then again, you all walk around with one of these and you're wondering, about the development of AI. We're going to, build a huge Bitcoin reserve. I bet you there is more people on the right who don't know about Bitcoin and AI than there are on the left who do know, whose heads are spinning right now and going, wait a second, I want this, but I'm not supposed to be a Trump supporter. And there's Trump supporters who are like, I'm a Trump supporter, but I don't want this. To me, that's what a real leader is. You're doing, as he said, for everybody. Not just the people on the right, or rather, right, but people on the left. They're all going to benefit. It makes sense for everybody.
Deals, and the only thing that stops a bullet is a body, a human body. And the number of soldiers that are being killed on both sides is astronomical. I've never seen anything like that. And rapidly, I get reports every week, and it's not even, it's like just they're going down. Nobody's seen anything like it.
No, the president has a very clear agenda for tariffs. And I think reciprocity is something that is going to be a key topic for us. How you treat us is how you should expect to be treated.
Reciprocal. He said it so well. Reciprocal. If they tax us, we tax them the same amount. They tax us. Forgetting just for a second about the word tax. They tax us, we tax them. And they tax us almost in all cases. They're taxing us, and we haven't been taxing them. Is there a deal already in the way? Is there a deal already in the way with respect to that? Let's just say this: we're going to make great deals.
Okay, before I go further with that, so that he told Mexico and Canada, clean up your act or I'm going to tariff the heck out of you. And ever since he said that, not even in office yet, we're seeing the Canadians just fall apart. The Canadian government is in a shambles. I don't know if you know today, but what's her role? Chrystia Freeland. Well, let me just bring it up so you guys can see it, just so, in case you don't know. Canadian government is in shambles. The Liberal Party is going down in flames. Finance Minister Chrystia Freeland, she resigned earlier. She can't even understand how you're letting Trump dictate things. And now the word is Justin Trudeau may be on the brink of resigning. The Canadian government is on the verge of complete collapse, merely because of the disagreement on how Trump wants to go after the tariffs. They don't even know how to react. I mean, the man makes one statement and tells them, and it's funny, I mean, it's all over the place. You're seeing this one. For those who doubted Trump's plans for tariffs, see, they're already working. Just the threat of them. Just the fact that he said, I'm going to hit you with 25% tariffs, and their entire government is about to just collapse. So anyone who was sitting on the, the back burner and was wondering, hey, listen, are tariffs, do they even work? Look at our buddies to the north. Check them out. Watch what's happening up there. She resigned this morning. She's like, I'm out. I'm done. And now Justin Trudeau he may throw in the towel. It may, during the course of this show or shortly thereafter, he may be done. That's how fast things are moving with Trump coming back into power. A lot of his opponents now are like, what do? We were able to do what we wanted with Dementia Joe. We got what we wanted. Anything we said, basically the Americans kowtowed and bowed down. They were moving in the fast lane to Marxism and socialism. And now this has come in and basically kicked the doors in and said, if you don't do what I'm telling you, I am going to destroy your country. Essentially. He didn't say those words. But a 25% tariff, as long as you can talk with all the bravado you want, it's going to hurt you more than it's going to hurt us. You need American dollars. Canada and Mexico. You need our consumers. Without our consumers, you're in deep, deep, deep trouble. And so now, literally, what's it been? 10 days since he announced the tariffs? Trudeau is about to lose his entire government.
In terms of your mass deportation plans, have you had any preliminary discussions with countries like Venezuela, from where the Tren de Aragua gang is now popping up?
They'll take him back.
They're going to take him back?
They're all taking him back, yep.
So he's on stage right now. He's in Mar-a-Lago having a press conference, not even at the White House. And you have to understand what he just said. He looked in the camera, didn't equivocate, didn't hesitate. They're taking him back. Sports reporter. The reporter goes, "Are you serious? They're going to take him back." Well, what if they don't?
And if they don't, they'll be met very harshly economically. Okay, they'll all take him back. Venezuela and other countries were not behaving very well with us during my administration, and within 24 hours they were behaving very well. They'll all take them back.
This is what the Democrats fear. A testosterone-laden government. We're coming in, Daddy's home, he's pissed as hell, I'm going to put this house in order. None of you high heel wearing, skirt wearing, wannabe whatevers, Daddy's home. And he's letting everybody know, I'm not playing with you. This is what's going to happen. I love it. I love it. I love it that people are cowering around him. I love it that people don't know what he may do. And because of that, there's some fear of America again. Going back into an athletic analogy, I knew when I lined up across from somebody, I had to establish dominance early. I wanted him to be afraid to come up against me the rest of the game. So I would do something that had to make him think, whoa, that hurt. Whoa, I didn't expect that. And of course, I ran up against people who felt the same way and did it to me. Ooh, hey, I didn't expect that. Time to man up. Time to absolutely man up. Or as they say, cowboy up. No more of this weak, limp-wristed crap. That's another reason why they probably hate Pete Hegseth. Everything about Pete Hegseth is adrenaline, testosterone, and they can't take it. Good-looking guy, great shape, likes to have fun, does the horizontal pop, unashamed, that's me, and I want to kill people. Did he say he wants to increase lethality? I didn't know lethality was a word. And now he's saying that in meetings. Hey, we're going to increase lethality. What? Yeah, we want to kill people. Yeah, mess with us. We're going to take you out. Ooh, come on. Come on, Pete. You got to be that hard? You can see where he's getting it from. That's who Trump wants around him. Kash Patel, what are we doing? I'm going to rip it apart. I'm going to tear down the walls. I'm going to do this. Yeah, that's what we want back in charge. Pity the people who are afraid of so-called toxic masculinity. If you're one of those people who don't like to see men be men, you might want to check out for the next 4 years. This is how it's supposed to be. This is how it was ordained. And for some reason we went this way with the entirety of the country and the mentality and making it so that men couldn't be men and men had to feel like they couldn't show what they are, their natural animalistic instincts. And now that's being addressed and unleashed. And there's a lot of people who can't take it. And they're making up all kinds of reasons that it's, white privilege. Well, no, black guys too. I'm like, yeah. And he's speaking like that. You're going to take him back or you're going to pay. There wasn't a third option. You notice that? He didn't say, take him back. And if you don't take him back, well, then maybe we can talk about this. Or maybe we can take him back or you're going to pay. That's it. And I'm telling you that now, 30-something days before I get in office, so when I get here, I'm really going to do it. I showed you a poll, I think about a week ago, and the guy was kind of surprised that, people voted Trump because he says what he's going to do, and then he does it. And they looked all surprised. Yeah.
How do you plan to stop the ban on TikTok next month?
Who?
How do you plan to stop the ban on TikTok next month?
We'll take a look at TikTok. I have a warm spot in my heart for TikTok because I won youth by 34 points. And there are those that say that TikTok has something to do with that. Now, Joe Rogan did, and some of the other people that were recommended by my son Barron, he knew names. I said, who is that? Tell me, who's that? Dad, you got to be kidding. I can't believe you don't know. And I did those interviews.
So now you know. Now you know the master behind the scenes. Who was running this stuff? Young, what is he, 18? 18-year-old Barron was running communications. Dad, you got to go do this. Who? What's the crypto bros? Just do it. Okay. And he knew Rogan, obviously, from UFC, but some of the other people, who? Yeah, go do that too. So Barron, as he's coming into his own, right now, was he a freshman or sophomore in college? And he's basically guiding his father behind the scenes, something that none of the pundits understood. These pundits who get paid millions and millions and consultants and everything else, they were telling Kamala do this and Kamala do that. And Trump was having his son go, hey, Dad, yeah, podcasts. Huh? Not TV? Nah, don't even bother. TikTok. And while everybody else was, and Kamala spending $1 billion on commercials, Trump's just talking to these people that Barron was telling him to talk to. This is the way forward. And if you saw the spot I put in there about Van Jones, they don't know what to do at this point. You can't address this, insincerity that they have on their side because you can't package it. You have to have the actual personality to do it. And so they couldn't put Kamala on these different podcasts. Couldn't do it. Now what do? Again, another tick on the box for you to look at and go, how do they win moving forward? All they're going to have is MSNBC, CNN, well, if those networks survive, which we're going to get into.
And it was actually sort of cute, if you want to know the truth, but we did them, and that had an impact. But TikTok had an impact, and so we're taking a look at it. But, we won youth. Republicans are always 30 points down in youth. I don't know why, but we ended up finishing. There was one poll that showed us down about 30. We were 35 or 36 points up with young people. So I have a little bit of a warm spot in my heart, I'll be honest. Yes, President.
I'll tell you why Republicans are always 30 points down with young people. You're boring. Nobody wants to watch your commercials. It's easy. As a marketing person, I could walk into someone's office, and I've done it. Why are you running these commercials? Nobody's watching. I've talked to big brands. Why spend your money? Nobody's watching. You need to be able to reach out and touch these people, which means you have to have some authenticity and some personality, which 90% of the Republican Party didn't have. So now you're looking at a part of the, quote, Republican Party. How about what we do real soon is stop calling this the Republican Party? How about we just go ahead and embrace it and call it the MAGA Party and let them put Republican Party in mothballs? It's old, it's tired, it has no messaging. Bye. Bye, 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 bye. Go away. This is no longer the Republican Party. Trump has transformed this into the MAGA Party. It's here to stay, and now we just need to, grow it and fertilize it and make sure the same type of people are ready for office. Don't go back to being boring losers. Don't do it.
The world leaders are calling me, and some really would like to meet. No, I mean literally, they're calling me, and I'll be seeing some of them. I think it's rude not to. I mean, it's hard to say I'm not going to see you, and I've spoken to way over 100 where they called to congratulate on not only the election but the size of the election, the extent of the victory. And they were great. I mean, I spoke to over 100 countries. You wouldn't believe how many countries there are. And I'm trying with the best I can to get back to everybody, but there are a lot of countries, and every one of them, literally everyone called, and it was very nice.
Imagine this. I want you to just imagine something. For the last 4 years, who were these leaders from other countries even talking to? See, that story is yet to come out, and I'm sure as Trump starts talking to more and more world leaders, we're going to find out something. They weren't talking to Joe. Couldn't have been possible. I bet you there were so many buffers who would say, "Talk to me. I'll make sure Joe hears from you. We'll get that in front of Joe." I saw something today where they were talking about Mitch McConnell. He posted something on Twitter. I'm like, Mitch McConnell probably doesn't even know what X is. I'm probably pretty sure that man who we saw freeze up is not typing anything on X. All these shadow people are doing so many different things, and now these people from other countries have a face to put behind America. That guy. Can I talk to Trump? Well, hold on. Who are you? And what do you want? But once you get through, you will be talking to Trump if he wants to speak with you. I do not think for an instant that people were speaking to Dementia Joe on an ongoing basis. Just don't think it.
Eric Adams?
Yeah, I would. Yeah. I think that he was treated pretty unfairly. Now, I haven't seen the gravity of it all, but it seems, like being upgraded in an airplane many years ago. I know probably everybody here has been upgraded. They see you're all stars, and they say, I want to upgrade that person from NBC. I'm going to upgrade him.
He's talking about basically pardoning Eric Adams from New York.
And that would mean you'll spend the rest of your life in prison. I don't know. Somehow, I'd have to see it because I don't know the facts. I think he was treated. It's very interesting when he essentially went against what was happening with the migrants coming in. And, he made some pretty strong statements like, this is not sustainable. I said, you know what? He'll be indicted soon. And I said it not as a prediction, a little bit lightheartedly, but I said it. I said, he's going to be indicted. And a few months later, he got indicted. So, yeah, I would certainly look at it.
So now, I think this might be the piece where he addresses the drones. This might be interesting. But in terms of Eric Adams, we all saw it. I was playing you guys cuts going, something different is happening here. I think this guy knows that Dementia Joe or Kamala or whoever were coming after him because he didn't want to play ball anymore in New York City. And sure enough, everything we were talking about in terms of what Eric Adams was doing and how he was looking for help from Donald, and he knew that if Trump got elected, that was going to be his lifeline.
Good to see you. Thank you. Good to see you. Yeah. Good to see you.
Can you comment on the drones that are flying around New Jersey?
Okay. Can you comment on the drones that are flying around New Jersey? Did you notice the first thing he did? What are you laughing at, dude? His first instinct was, that's not a serious response to like, oh my God, the world's going to end and it's Independence Day. That's from a very serious man, but it gets better. Watch this.
Reports. It seems like the American people have a big
disconnect. The government knows what is happening. Look, our military knows where they took off from. If it's a garage, they can go right into that garage. They know where it came from and where it went. And for some reason, they don't want to comment. And I think they'd be better off saying what it is. Our military knows and our president knows. And for some reason, they want to keep people in suspense. I can't imagine it's the enemy, because if it was the enemy, they'd blast it out. Even if they were late, they'd blast it. Something strange is going on. For some reason, they don't want to tell the people, and they should, because the people are really, I mean, they happen to be over Bedminster.
We should
know the
Okay, Bedminster is where one of his golf courses is. And watch how he addresses, I don't know if this is the right angle, but he's going to talk to, I think it's Howard Kutnick he's going to turn. Watch this. Let's watch.
They're very close to Bedminster. I think maybe I won't spend the weekend in Bedminster. I've decided to cancel my trip.
Did you see that exchange right there? You can still see it on the guy's face. I feel like I was watching Goodfellas or something. I might go ahead and cancel my trip to Bedminster. That's why people got mad at me. I'm like, this dude is completely, he's calm. And they're laughing at it. And I don't know if you saw what Elon put up today, but Elon went and put, just completely, the two guys who should probably know the most about what's going on are now basically making jokes about this. Let me see if I can find this thing here so I can show you guys this too, because it was just crazy, absolutely crazy what Elon posted. Oh, okay, here we go, we got it. Okay. So I don't know if you've seen this, but this is Elon with a big smiley face as the only thing, smiley face emoji. And this was the New Jersey Guide to Aircraft Identification. Jet, drone, 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 drone. That's a drone. That's a drone too. Drone, drone, and drone with props, and drone, 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 Iranian mothership. There's something going on, no doubt. There's something in the skies. No doubt. I've said that many times. And the only reason I'm bringing this even up again is because I just watched Trump just chuckle. I watched Elon post a meme after Trump posted a meme, and then talking about, yeah, I might not go to Bedminster. And it's a joke. An absolute joke. So I'm just going to leave it with you.
If there are...
Let me see if I can't rewind that a little bit so I can freeze on that frame so you guys can see. Okay, hold on. Let's play it.
They happen to be over Bedminster.
We should know
They're very close to Bedminster. I think maybe I won't spend the weekend in Bedminster. I've decided to cancel my trip.
I decided to cancel my trip or something, and the other guy's sitting there laughing. Do with it what you want. That's why Barry just said, I'm not getting involved in this crap. I just ain't doing it. Something ain't right. I don't know what it is, but that man doesn't seem worried. So you guys just all saw it as well. I don't know how else to explain it. I'm looking to the leader of the soon-to-be leader of the country, and he's joking about it like he's on The Sopranos. Mike cancel, and his capo sitting next to him's like, just saying. Let's continue.
If they're unreasonable, if they're opposing somebody for political reasons or stupid.
So the question here was, are you really going to primary everybody who doesn't vote for the people you want in office? And he's like, well, it depends.
Reasons, I would say has nothing to do with me. I would say they probably would be primaried. But if they're reasonable, fair, and really disagree with something or somebody, I can see that happening. But I do believe that if they're I think we have great people. I think we have a great group of people. Pam has been unbelievably received. You take a look, Pam Bondi. So many have been just unbelievably received. I think Pete Hegseth is making tremendous strides over the last week. He's going to be great. Look, he went to Princeton, he went to Harvard, he was a great student there, but he really was, from the first day I met him, all he wanted to talk about was military. He's just a military guy. I think it's a natural. This was my idea. And, you know, Pete Hegseth gave up a lot because he was going big places in Fox, big places, a lot of money. And he didn't even hesitate. When I said, do you want to do this? He said, absolutely.
What you get out of that clip, and what people like Lisa Murkowski and all the rest of you just understand, I'm probably going to push this stuff through a recess appointment anyway. So here's my prognosis here. I think he offered these people up. Go to the meetings and see what's happening. Give me the lay of the land so I know who's an idiot and who's not an idiot. And then when they come back and report to them, like, hey, this guy, this lady, this one, they're not playing ball. Okay, Elon, put them on the list. See, everyone's talking about this prosecution list. The other list is probably going to be more important. You don't want to play ball? Understand, we're going to push these through a recess appointment anyway, so I ain't worried about that. I just needed to sniff out you people. I had to put some drones in Congress, and I had to see where the enemies were. And now I know who they are. I got my buddy here, the first bro, who's going to go ahead and primary you guys to hell. You're done. You're absolutely done. You will not be able to resist the onslaught, and you won't get any money. Because when your backers find out that the opponent is being backed by Elon Musk, they're going to go, I'm not wasting money. I can't play against him. Hey, you think you can give me like $2 million so I can do my ads on television? And your opponent is saying, hey, I got this guy behind me. Mr. Billions who doesn't even care. Here's $1 billion. Blow him out the water. You're done. You are absolutely done, Lisa Murkowski. Enjoy the next 2 years crying and whining and everything else. Susan Collins, enjoy it. It's about, the ride is coming to an abrupt halt. Yeah, boom. And now I think they know they're stuck, which makes it even worse. It's like, oh, you let everybody know you were in opposition to Trump. You told everybody that you didn't like Pete Hegseth and this and that and everything. And you've let the world know, and you've let Elon and Trump know that you're not on Team T. And if you're not on Team T, we're coming for you. And it's too late because you exposed yourself.
What you said to Prime Minister Netanyahu in your call on Saturday.
Yeah.
Putin since your election?
Well, I'm not going to comment on the Putin question, but I will comment on Bibi. We had a very good talk. We discussed what is going to happen, and I'll be very available on January 20th, and we'll see. As you know, I gave warning that if these hostages aren't back home by that date, all hell's going to break out, and very strong. But we do. I'm going to be.
So he just said it again. Hey, Ayatollah Assahoullah, understand. You got until January 20th till about 1:15. I figured by the time I put my hand on the Bible and I do all my other executive orders and this thing and that thing and have a sandwich and kiss Melania, the next thing I'm going to do is basically tell the F-15s or whatever's flying these days to eliminate you. You don't get those hot. There's no. Again, this man doesn't give options. Do this, or this is going to happen. That's it. You're seeing a pattern here when Trump talks. He doesn't like, well, we're going to talk about this, and maybe we'll do that, and maybe we'll consider the other thing. Give me the hostages, or you'll have hell to pay. That's it. It's quite the binary question at this point. And it will be too late to negotiate. He's not interested in negotiating with you. He's told you what his terms are. So it's up to you. I would not want to be the person calling him or trying to call his bluff. You don't really mean it. You see what's happening in Canada, right? Because they know. They've dealt with this guy before. Hey, when he gets in, he's going to slap us with 25% tariffs. Oh my gosh, what do we do? I need to get out of here. Hey, Ayatollah, bring him back, dead or alive. Put him someplace where we can get to him, or you may cease to exist. It may be another beach on the Mediterranean out there. Your choice.
Bringing one against the people in Iowa, their newspaper, which had a very, very good...
All right, so this is moving into the second phase of things here. I'm going to be talking about the George Stephanopoulos beatdown in a second. And this is him letting other people in the media, guess what? I'm suing you, and I'm suing you too. You see, everyone thought he was going to do all these different things to the media by not letting them into the press room. They won't be allowed in the press room because they won't be there. He is, well, I'm going to let you hear him, but you saw what he did to little Georgie. And ABC/Disney said, I'll talk about that when we get to it. Listen to what he says. This is about the Iowa pollster
who got me right all the time. And then just before the election, she said I was going to lose by 3 or 4 points, and it became the biggest story all over the world because I was going to win Iowa by 20 points. The farmers loved me, and I loved the farmers. And it was interesting the way she did it. She brought it down 2 weeks before. She said I was going to only win by 4. That was a big story. But that was good because she brought it down from like 22 points to 4 or whatever the number was. Way up, an easy win. Never even thought to go there. I respect them, I love them, and they understand there's no reason to go there because she brought it from way up, walk away, which it was, and it turned out to be in the election too, by the way. It was a win by many, many points. And then she brought it down very smartly to 4 a couple of weeks before. And everyone said, wow, that's amazing. He's only up by 4 points. Then she brought it down to where I was down by 3 or 4, whatever the number she used. And that was the Des Moines Register. And it was their parent. And in my opinion, it was fraud and it was election interference. You know, she's gotten me right always. She's a very good pollster. She knows what she was doing. And she then quit before. And we'll probably...
So I just want to make sure you guys understand that. This woman who has been somewhat of a reliable pollster for quite some time, all of a sudden at the 12th hour decided to put out some poll saying that Kamala was up by 3 or 4 points in Iowa. You could have picked another state to lie. You lied it in Iowa. Like that was like anybody believed it. And then quickly, we all found out she was lying, and then she quickly retired. I'm done. I got my silver. I'm out.
We'll be filing a major lawsuit against them today or tomorrow. We're filing one on 60 Minutes, you know about that, where they took Kamala's answer, which was a...
All right, so let me set the stage here. He already sued ABC and won. Now he's going to sue the Des Moines Register, and he'll win. And then he's about to sue 60 Minutes, and he'll win. What do you think will happen to the media? What do you think will happen to these people before they get out there and start lying and lying again? You're going to have to pause and think. Will he, and maybe not the idiots on television, because they don't care. They hate Trump. They're ideologues. But the guy sitting up in the tower looking down and going, hey man, we might need to pull Joy Reid off the air. See, Joy Reid's going to keep running. She'll call him every name in the book. She doesn't care. She does not care. It does not address her. But the people at Comcast are sitting back right now going, he's throwing lawsuits around like candy. And he's being good about it, which I'll explain in a second.
Crazy answer, a horrible answer. And they took the whole answer out and they replaced it with something else she said later on. Through the Department of Government Efficiency, Elon Musk has been working very hard with various people, including Vivek.
So here he's going to be talking about Doge and how he's going to be hitting on, all the different budgetary items in the United States government. So let's listen to this.
Going to eliminate hundreds of billions of dollars of waste and fraud. And I can only tell you, I'll give you a little early report, they're finding things that you wouldn't even believe. So we're looking to save maybe $2 trillion. And it'll have no impact. Actually, it'll make life better, but it'll have no impact on people. It's not like we will never cut Social Security, things like that. It's just waste, fraud, and abuse. Starting on day one, we'll implement a rapid series of bold reforms to restore our nation to full prosperity. We're going to go full prosperity and to build the greatest economy.
Again, I'll go back to what I said earlier. How do you address that? How do you, as a Democrat, say, no, he's doing the wrong thing by making people prosperous? How do you use that as some sort of cudgel to make yourself look good as a prospective opponent in the future? Oh, my platform is to make you less prosperous and to tax you because fair share or some. Makes no sense. And he knows it. And he has said it. I keep reminding you. He said, I don't care if you voted for me or not. You're still going to enjoy it. You get to come to the buffet. You may not like it, but there's something there you're going to like.
Economy the world has ever seen, just as we had just a short time ago. We had it in my term. We had the greatest economy that the world had seen. We were blowing away everybody. Our country was doubling up on China, doubling up on everybody, and everybody knows it. And then we had to slow it down with COVID, unfortunately, at the end. But even then, I gave it back with a substantial increase of the stock market, bigger than it was pre-COVID, so it was pretty amazing. Already preparations are underway to slash massive numbers of job-killing regulations, eliminating 10 old regulations for every new one. You put a new regulation on, you have to get rid of 10, and we'll be able to do it. And that was about the percentage we had. We cut more regulations than any president has ever cut by far, actually, by approximately 5 times. Some of those regulations, unfortunately, were put back on, but we'll catch up very quickly. We'll catch up with it.
This is his first press conference I've seen of this nature. And I love that he held it down at Mar-a-Lago, and he's letting everybody know this is what's coming. Whether you like it or not, this is where we're going. And at this point, that's good enough for me. I'm going to take some comments, but before I take some comments, let me go ahead and tell you about the Kids Guide. I have to take a minute to stop and address parents with something very, very important. Let's see, as President Trump prepares for his second term, he said he wants to teach our kids to love our country, reversing radical and anti-American rhetoric that our kids are hearing in classrooms across the country. The best place for kids to start is to learn all about President Trump and his vision to make America great again during his second term. That's why Mike Huckabee's team has put together the Kids Guide to President Trump Victory Edition, and to celebrate President Trump's return to the White House, they're giving it away for free. This book is great because it features fun illustrations and content teaching kids all about President Trump's accomplishments and his goals for the second term. Mike Huckabee wants to send your family this free guide so you can teach your kids the truth about President Trump and his mission to make America great again. But please hurry, because supplies are limited. You can claim your free Kids Guide to President Trump's Victory Edition for your kids right now. See offer details and order your free guide at kidstrumpguide.com. kidstrumpguide.com. I'll be right back. If you see what's going on in the world right now and what may happen here in America, you may want to prepare and pay attention. You know that Lear Capital is a big supporter of this show. If you want to be protected in the event that things go off the wall, I advise you to look into buying gold and silver. We are all just one catastrophic event away from the value of the American dollar plunging. Do you know what's not plunging? Gold and silver. I'm telling you now. Make sure that you have some form of your money invested in precious metals. Lear Capital will ship your gold or your silver coins directly to your house. It's not just a certificate. You can store them in your gun safe, or you can store them off-site in a 24-hour protected facility. It's totally up to you. But when things go crazy here, or across the world, the value of the American dollar is going to decline. It's inevitable, and it might not even take a war. We may do it to ourselves. And I mean, the Federal Reserve plays around with interest rates, the US dollar will likely decline in value as well. Meanwhile, you'll see gold and silver continue to rise in value. If you call Lear Capital, they will take the time to educate you and answer all of your questions about gold and silver. Just give them a call at 800-601-5430 or go to Learberry, that's me, Learberry.com, to download your free de-dollarization report. You should know that Lear Capital is an American company. If you call them today, you'll be speaking with people right here in the United States. Now is the time to take action. Call 800-601-5430 or go to Learberry.com. And when you call, ask them how you can get up to $15,000 in bonus gold with a qualifying purchase. There's absolutely no obligation to buy anything. Just free information on protecting your hard-earned dollars with gold and silver. You know, when you think about it, you're actually not buying anything. You're simply going to be exchanging dollars for gold, moving currency. Give them a call today. Tell them Barry sent you.
Welcome back to Fanfare with Barry Cunningham.
All right, so I talk about gold and silver quite a bit. And yesterday I was talking about some Bitcoin. And here's an ounce of silver, and today I'm looking at the price. As of today, it's $31 for an ounce, $31 for this, so it's quite affordable, and you actually get possession of the actual silver. And let me check out gold spot price today. The gold spot price is as in $2,666, but this isn't an ounce. I believe this is a quarter ounce or something of that nature, so you can buy it in smaller increments if you go to the Lear website. So check that out. Get in some silver, because most people can afford to get in on silver. Somebody asked me a question, what is VOA? VOA is Voice of America. We're going to be talking about that tonight at the 7:30 show. We're going to be talking about a couple different things, initiatives. Carrie Lake is going to be heading that up, and that's got the Democrats' heads going nuts as well. Yes, I believe America will rock very, very soon. Can anybody tell me what Bitcoin is backed by? Bitcoin is, there's nothing solid to it, which scares a lot of people. I would say go back and watch yesterday's interview. It kind of freaks some people out. But it's not like there's an actual coin. There is no such. There's no Bitcoin. It's all based upon. Go look at it. These people who know a lot more about it than me, and there's people here who can tell you about it. But just understand, it's where things are going. Get yourself educated. There is no actual coin. There is no gold. There's nothing behind it. It is a virtual currency per se, but it's growing very, very big, and some people are calling for some astronomical numbers associated with it. Don't be as afraid. You can be afraid now because you may not know, but once you begin educating yourself, you're going to feel a lot more comfortable about it. And there's some people here that can tell you about it who aren't just going to blow it off. Oh, don't get involved. Learn. Earn by learning. You keep earning by learning. Let me just go with that. Based on faith, quantum computers are on their way soon. Can't they hack BTC? I don't know, but I doubt it. The dollar, that's true. The dollar is backed by nothing but confidence. True. Very, very true. There's no gold anymore. Let's see what here. I witnessed my son using Bitcoin at a local store. It was amazing to me. Yep, you can do it. And again, I'm not telling anyone to do it. All I'm saying is, if you can see where the puck is going, you may want to educate yourself on it. That's all I'm going to say about it in this show, because it got a lot of people upset yesterday. A lot of people. And I don't want to upset people. I'm just urging you to take the time to learn something you don't know. And if you don't want to learn, that's up to you as well. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. VOA, yes, the Voice of America has 350 million listeners worldwide. It's going to be amazing. Amazing. Let's see. Humans have this problem. What's it say? Humans have this problem with short money attention. By the time Christmas gets here, in 10 days, no one will pay attention. Then New Year's Eve, everyone will be. What's this? Yeah. I saw your Bitcoin video, Barry. I saw a lot of people were nervous. A little advice: main coins like Bitcoin and even memes like Doge always go up in the long run. There's nothing to fear. I know, but we can't tell them. They're going to have to learn that. And everything I was showing people yesterday with what Trump's doing, what we've seen today with Massa coming in with 100, maybe 200 billion towards AI, a lot of us fear the unknown. And the only way you become confident in is make it no longer unknown. You just have to learn. That's just it. There's nothing I can do. Somebody said the drones are air taxis. They're air Uber or something. That would be funny. Will there be a charge for Voice of America? No, it's free. The government pays for it. All right, so let's start talking. Let's talk about what happened with George Stephanopoulos. So many of you know, and I'm going to dig a little bit deeper into this than the stuff that was out there, because this is a big deal, and it was set up by what you just saw. He sued ABC. He's suing 60 Minutes. 60 Minutes is CBS basically, and he's suing the Des Moines Register. So far, so let's look at the basis for the lawsuit against George Stephanopoulos / ABC. You're going to hear Nancy Mace. You've probably heard it, quite some time. I mean, quite a few times. But I've had to, because of the people upstairs. You're going to hear a bleep every time she says the word about grapes. Wink, wink, if you know what I mean. Or if they call Trump a grape grower, if you know what I mean. But I want you to hear what caused, well, actually, this is the precursor for the lawsuit. I'm going to tell you what caused the lawsuit, because they're two different things. Because as you watch this, you're going to go, oh, okay, that's what he said. He's mean, but I didn't know it's something you would want to sue. Okay, listen to this.
I still get judged for it today.
I'm asking you a very simple question.
And I answered it. You're shaming me for my political choices.
I'm asking you a question about why you endorse someone who's been found liable for
It was not a criminal court. This was a civil court. It was a civil court. And by the way, she joked about the judgment and what she was going to do with all that money, and I find that offensive.
I'm asking you
but
about
as
the man
a victim who's been shamed for years now because of her, you're trying to shame me again by asking me this political question.
You've repeated that again.
I think
it's
offensive. As a woman, I find it offensive. For my political choices, I've endorsed the man that I believe is best for our country. It's not Joe Biden. And you looked at the dueling rallies yesterday in Georgia. Laken Riley's family was with Donald Trump. They weren't with Joe Biden. The same guy yesterday that apologized for calling her killer an illegal, who wasn't illegal. And here you are trying to shame a victim. I find it disgusting.
I mean, you keep saying I'm shaming you.
You are. The question, it is.
How is the question asking you about
You see, Stephanopoulos is a long-time experienced journalist. He understands exactly what he's trying to do. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been saying this 10 times in what amounts to a 2-minute hit. And he keeps saying it over and over because he's trying to get a rise out of Nancy, and he's trying to paint Trump a certain way. There's a reason for his madness. He's trying to be surgical and say what, he knows. He knows he's ticking her off. He absolutely knows what he is saying to this woman is not going well. I mean, you have to be a complete camel with, ostrich with your head in the sand not to know this woman's, number one, been through it, and number two, you're giving her distress by continuing to say it. It's no longer about Trump. You're saying it to hurt her, which in and of itself, you're a piece of crap. You're an absolute piece of crap for doing that. But what you don't realize is that this entire thing is going out to the entire country, just like 60 Minutes. People can see what you're saying and how you're treating this woman. So let's continue.
Presidential candidate who's
You're asking a victim.
And there's no question about that. And
You're
you've
questioning my
courageously
political
talked
choices
about
because
that.
I've been. I think that's disgusting.
No, I'm questioning your political choices because you're
shaming
supporting
me. You're trying
someone
to
who's been
shame
found
me.
liable for. Actually, I'm not trying to.
You
shame
are. That's exactly.
You're not
what
answering
you're
the
doing.
question.
And I think it's disgusting.
Well, you're welcome to say that, but you have to answer the question. Why are you supporting someone who's been found liable for?
I just answered
So
your
if you know something's hurting somebody, he didn't have to be so descriptive with a word. He could have said, I'd just like to know why you would be supporting someone who's been, accused, charged, whatever words you want to use, with doing something like this to E. Jean Carroll. He doesn't have to say the word. He's saying it on purpose. He wants to let Nancy know, I don't give a crap about you, and I don't give a crap about him. And in turn, I don't give a crap about any woman who's been through what you're going through. Because if you did, you wouldn't be doing this. Because I'm sure there were women at home watching this who have seen this over the last couple weeks, and they're like, come on, man. That's rude. I understand what he was doing. I don't understand how he could live with himself doing that to a woman who, looking at her face, she's been through that horrible experience. And you're drilling. And I'm sure you didn't give her the questions in advance. So she's stuck. She has to take a deep breath and get through this, because she's just not going to walk off and let you think you've won. So she has to sit there and endure it, and he has to keep bringing it.
What is the answer?
He was not found guilty in a criminal court of law. It was sexual abuse. It wasn't actually. By the way, and E. Jean Carroll joked about all the money she's going to get and made a mockery out of this case. And I think that's offensive. There's a reason why women don't come forward. And when you have someone who says that they make a mockery out of this civil court judgment, it's offensive to other women. It makes it harder for other women to come forward when another woman has made a mockery of it.
You said women don't come forward because they are afraid. They are afraid
they're
because
judged
they're defamed
and shamed,
by those
like you're trying to shame me this morning.
They are afraid to come forward, as you said, because they are defamed by those who commit the. That's what Donald Trump has been found guilty of doing.
He defended himself over that and denies that it ever happened, but he was not found guilty in a criminal court of law. ABC News.
All right, so here's what happened. Well, let me just finish it.
News has agreed to pay $15 million to settle a defamation suit brought on by Donald Trump. Trump filed the suit against the network and its top anchor after George Stephanopoulos incorrectly asserted 10 times in an interview that Trump was found liable for in the civil suit with E. Jean Carroll. As part of the settlement, ABC News published an editor's note expressing regret over the statements.
Okay, so ABC quickly, case got filed, they settled very quickly. And there probably won't be any public disclosure of the actual settlement because they don't want people to see it. Trump was magnanimous. I'm telling you right now, Disney's got a lot of money. He could have pushed a lot harder and said, nope, not settling. Let's go ahead and take this thing to court. But he's got something bigger planned in January, so he probably didn't want to do that. So let's go ahead and settle. So what happened? ABC had to give a public retraction and say, yeah, we screwed up. $14 million is going from ABC to a presidential library. George Stephanopoulos has got to put up $1 million personally to come up with the $15 million. And they're lucky that's all it was. It could have been, if it went to court or if he pushed it, probably $100 million. You see, they settled so quickly, because Trump obviously has something to do in January, but ABC settled so quickly because the next stage of the lawsuit, once the judge said it can go forward, would have been discovery. just to give you guys who may not know, what discovery is at that point is Trump's attorneys would have said, we need to see scripts, we need to see emails, we need to see X, Y, and Z, we need to see all this stuff so that we can prepare for trial. ABC and their attorneys, disclosure, used to work for Disney, looked at this and said, if we go to discovery, we're screwed. We are absolutely screwed. This will cost us probably $100 million plus. Get it, go settle. Go get it done. Because Trump would have then had access to their entire, as much as they were allowed to dig, they were going to be able to dig, and pull up all kinds of dirt on ABC and George Stephanopoulos and anybody else at ABC. Because once that trail opened, it's like breadcrumbs. Here's an email from this person to George about Nancy Mace, and boom, boom, da boom, da boom. They could have followed it all the way in. And the more they followed, obviously that quick of a settlement. Here, $15 million, boom, we're good. We're out. Done. Are we done with this? Yes. We don't have to disclose anything else because the settlement agreement's going to be private. So now Trump has got that fresh taste. That fresh taste of Stephanopoulos' butt in his mouth, chewed up and spit out. And he turns and says, you're next, 60 Minutes, CBS. And you're next, Des Moines Register. I don't care. Let's go. Let's see where you want me to go. I guarantee you CBS steps up and they settle very quickly too. And I bet you as part of the settlement agreement, there are going to be some things they no longer can do in regards to talking about Trump. And so the rest of the media is now, oh God, what are we going to do? He's going to make us not talk about him. Okay. Just watch your step. Watch your step. Listen to this.
Yeah, $15 million and the attorney's fees. This is a big deal for a number of reasons. We know that the incoming president has been litigious over the years, actually over the decades. And almost all the times he's tried to sue a news outlet, he has been unsuccessful. This case, though, he has succeeded, and it may have ripple effects as a result. It may embolden Trump and his aides and his allies to file more of these suits in the future.
Oh, yeah, you can count on that, because now he's got precedent. You can't talk about people this way.
Future. As you mentioned, this is $15 million going toward a presidential foundation and museum. So literally it's ABC helping pay for maybe a wing of the Trump library someday. Can you imagine the kind of trolling that Trump might do trying to name it for ABC or something because he says that they defamed him and then they had to pay him out?
The press is in a difficult position. Everyone understands that. That doesn't change the obligation to be straightforward.
That didn't make sense. The press is in a difficult situation, and now we understand the importance of being straightforward. How about you just understand being straightforward to begin with? There's no difficult position. You're telling me in order to do your job, you have to lie. Oh, it's a difficult position. We have to worry about being straightforward. Isn't that what you're supposed to be? Again, I listen to what people say, and oftentimes because they're on television and they're nervous because cameras and lights and everything in the studio, and they think they're talking to friends and they say stuff stupid like that. Of course you need to be on point. The only reason you wouldn't be is because you're lying.
Objective when it comes to Donald Trump.
I would just say, this feels like it has a real chilling effect. Shout out to the standards department. Okay, standards is always making sure that we are keeping the bar high and substantive and accurate. But what George Stephanopoulos said in that interview, it seems to hold up with what the judge said after the fact. And now.
Okay, so this is something that the media is pressing on. So when the case happened with E. Jean Carroll, the jury specifically said, nope, we can't find him liable for that graping. Nope, didn't happen. And they checked, did not happen. No, we could not. The judge, being like Judge Merchant up in New York, decided to put his own little spicy sauce on it and said, you know, I think it's grapey. But that's not what the jury found. So he was not convicted. He was not held liable. The judge decided he wanted to put something in his statement at the end, but he might as well have just wiped his butt with it, because it's the same thing. The jury found him not liable. Period. End of lawsuit. Done. Everything the judge said below and decided he wanted to put his own spice on doesn't matter, but that's what the media wants to keep going with.
Now, his news organization and himself, George Stephanopoulos himself, is paying $1 million of his own money to the lawyers, and ABC at $15 million. It's insane. The 9-member jury in that case checked the box mark no when asked whether Carroll had proven by a preponderance of the evidence that Mr. Trump Carroll. But then you had the judge.
Oh, okay. Right then, you're done. It's over. The jury, who's, you know, has to render a verdict, said no. I don't care if some judge was mad. That madness was what they count on to use to perpetuate BS. And so she's about to spout it right now. Well, the judge said this, but the jury didn't.
Judge in the case, after that exchange with Nancy Mace and George Stephanopoulos, the judge came out and actually put an asterisk there and kind of underscored that what George...
But a judge can't do that. That was solely to try and stain Trump. The verdict was already complete. He can't come back after the fact and go, oh yeah, but you know what? George Stephanopoulos, he wasn't exactly wrong. I think I saw the evidence. I think it was this, this, and this. Well, I'm sorry. That's not how our legal system works. The jury said no. They checked the big box. And you just said something, and the media is running with it because now all of a sudden they have to change their tune. Nope, he wasn't found liable. The judge basically vomited on a piece of paper.
Stephanopoulos said is true. All of this to someone watching might sound like semantics, but I guess for me, as Michael and I are sitting here, and as you know, we all go on TV all the time, and we talk about late breaking news, right? And yeah. Michael, I'm just kind of wondering, the parsing of this. The judge said that George Stephanopoulos was right, essentially, but
doesn't matter. They can't figure out how can we keep calling him this name. How do we juggle this? The jury said no. The judge got pissed off and is saying this. They don't understand. You got, as Trump has, two choices: go with a verdict or get ready for a lawsuit. I'm sure this is MSNBC, so I'm sure Comcast will be issuing a memo and saying, shut up. The verdict is all that matters, not someone else's opinion, especially because the judge accepted the verdict.
Donald Trump sued anyway for defamation, and ABC made the calculated decision that, you know what, we're just going to pay. Now, George Stephanopoulos also has to pay. He's on the hook for $1 million of his own money. And that leaves the rest of us with what?
Telling the truth. That's what it leaves you with. Oh my God, we have to tell the truth.
We want to be accurate, right? We have a standards department. We are all endeavoring.
You don't want to be accurate. Otherwise, it would be very simple. Don't say it anymore. Not hard to do. It's not true. Don't say it. It's really that simple.
To keep the bar high and substantive and not engage in interviews and conversations where people just lie or throw out conspiracy theories and they themselves aren't accurate. But this seems quite targeted, and I don't think George Stephanopoulos was wrong. I'm sorry.
Nobody's paying for your opinion on whether George Stephanopoulos was wrong. Notice right now, though, she's talking about this in a weird way, but she's not saying that Trump is X, Y, and Z. Well, I don't think Stephanopoulos was wrong. Say it. Say it. Say it. You can't.
I don't know if now y'all got nothing to say because nobody want a lawsuit. See, this is the chilling effect.
That's exactly the chilling effect. Your people sitting there thinking, how do we answer this? Trump's a genius. They all just sat there. How do we say this? I don't want to get sued. George Stephanopoulos has been around a long time. He got that bank to pay $1 million fine. I don't have $1 million extra laying around. So what do I say? I can complain that, it's not fair. He's suing people. But that's all you got.
This is the chat. My husband's about to text me, shut up, because what are you doing?
No. I mean, go ahead, Lisa.
I was going to say is I'm not sure that George Stephanopoulos was wrong in a colloquial sense, but where this case emerges from and where...
Can you go through as many loopholes as you possibly can? I'm sure he's not wrong in a colloquial sense. Wow, is it that tough for you guys to tell the truth? Was he held liable by a verdict? No. End of story. You're still trying to find a way. How can we legally make this stick on Trump? It can't.
He got tripped up is in attempting to describe what was found by the jury. And as you noted, the jury itself found very precisely that Donald Trump did not commit rape within the technical definition of...
Oop, I missed that beep.
...in New York's criminal code. They found him liable for sexual abuse.
For Trump, this is, they didn't have the account set up for this. They have no place to put the $15 million.
The $15 million just gonna be sitting in escrow like they about to buy a house?
Right, exactly. So, I mean, what does that say to you that, I've been on this program and elsewhere complaining, because it is a complaint, about how the legal system itself has been so easily manipulated.
The legal system... You mean when a jury renders a verdict has been so easily manipulated? Funny, you weren't saying that about Judge Merchan. You were saying he was convicted of 34 felonies. And so now as things are starting to unwind on you, you can't even comprehend that you were wrong. That you can no longer use that as a weapon. You can't do it. And now we're watching the media basically implode on itself.
The media now is sort of falling into that, we want to play nice. What's your assessment of how this affects the way the country governs itself when both the judicial and the media space seem so willing to blow past the obvious problems with this incoming administration?
How does it have anything to do with governing? It doesn't make any sense. You're hearing this probably, I don't know, maybe first time you've seen it. And you can tell they're having a hard time trying to figure out how do we talk about Trump negatively without getting our pantsuit off. So now these two idiots who went down to Mar-a-Lago to try and kiss the ring, they've decided they're going to put Comcast in a really bad situation. The average Joe, whatever his name is, Morning Joe, is just going to scream from the top of his lungs, Trump is this, Trump is that. He doesn't care. They're going to force Comcast to come down and take him off the air.
She is defending. She is endorsing. She is all behind a man who a judge said another woman and then
the judge doesn't matter. You see what they're doing here? He completely went beyond the actual verdict. They don't care about the verdict. I think Nancy called this the wrap-up smear. If somebody else said it, I can say the judge said it. And if the judge said it, I'm just going to keep saying it. Doesn't work that way, Joe. Now you know it's not true. And so for you to continue saying it, you're putting your entire network in peril. Obviously, he and Micah, whatever her name is, they don't care.
Famed or talk about shaming a woman if she's so concerned about victims being shamed. What about what Donald Trump does to his victim? Judge said she was a rape victim. Day in.
You see that? See how he did that? He said it. Oh, the judge said it. But you know it's not true. You know saying it's not true. Your qualifier by saying the judge said it isn't going to cover it.
And day out, constantly shaming E. Jean Carroll, so much so that the jury had to come back a second time and make the penalty so bad that maybe he would stop shaming a victim. But that's who Nancy Mace aggressively endorses.
Nancy Mace, who has openly spoken about a terrible experience weaponizing it against George Stephanopoulos, which is, it seems beyond twisted. But again, this is Trump world.
You watched the exchange. Who was weaponizing it? Who was the one who brought it up and kept bringing it up? It was Stephanopoulos. They try to make it as though it's Nancy Mace's fault. The media at this point doesn't know what to do. They are completely disheveled.
And this is a man who has been accused of several times over, and has other accusers that he's bought off.
I think anyone who knows George Stephanopoulos knows that he is one of the least likely people in the world to try and shame somebody who has suffered that kind of awful experience. I mean, that's just not the way George carries out his journalism. He's fair, he's honest, and it was a legitimate question.
What a kind.
All right, so you saw that next piece is by Megyn Kelly. Megyn Kelly is about to say something here that a lot of people don't know because it's from so long ago. Some of you guys may be too young to remember. Some of you guys, it may have just faded from memory. But one of the things that's so weird about this is the complete hypocrisy of somebody like George Stephanopoulos trying to basically attack a woman because of her violent experience and then try to put that onto Donald Trump. I don't know how these people are going to move forward. I don't think they can. Because if you take the weaponry away from them, where they can no longer say the most vile things about Trump, and they have to actually report, I don't think they can do it. I don't think people will watch their show if they say, well, Trump gave a press conference today, and in his press conference today, he said this and this, film at 11, without putting all the other stuff in. Hey, Joe, you want to call them names? Go get a YouTube channel. See if it works out for you. But you got powers that be that are looking down at you and saying, I don't know if this is the right thing we should be doing. We just saw what happened to ABC and Disney. And we're trying to sell MSNBC. And I don't think anybody's going to want to buy MSNBC if we have an ongoing lawsuit by the President of the United States. So I'm pretty sure, I would bet in the next week, you're going to see Trump file a lawsuit against MSNBC and Comcast. And then all hell is going to break loose because I don't know what Joy Reid's going to do.
Sensitive man who clearly cares deeply about women and their sexual assault allegations. Thanks for being an ally, George. I see how concerned you are that victims might not come forward if they are publicly attacked by their or his defenders. To be sure, that is a very real concern. It happens all the time, which you know, because you invented it. Remember? When you created a whole command center designed to smear Bill Clinton's assault and rape accusers so you could elevate him right into the presidency. The attorney representing many of Bill's accusers, and there were many, George, Juanita Broderick, Kathleen Willey, Paula Jones, Jennifer Flowers, to name just a few, said you and James Carville, at Hillary Clinton's direction, formed a so-called war room, whose purpose was, quote, to destroy any woman that would challenge Bill Clinton. You know the war room. They made a whole movie about it.
George Stephanopoulos, I'm Director of Communications. Bush was on the defensive. Another good night for Bill Clinton. 3 debates, 3 wins. I guarantee you that if you do this, you'll never work in Democratic politics again.
Such a tough guy.
You guys remember that? You probably didn't. Probably didn't realize, oh, wait a second. Yeah, that was him? Yeah, that was him. The same guy who did anything he could to make sure that no woman that Slick Willie was involved with was going to damage his presidency whatsoever. That they would do anything they could to destroy any woman who made a claim against Slick Willie. We didn't have to worry about that with Obama because, well, yeah, you know.
Hi. This attorney points out that you don't like to talk about this particular behavior, George. Maybe that's why you skipped it in your discussion with Nancy Mace. But as you know, private detectives were hired. The women say they were threatened, and they were publicly shamed by you and your well-funded team. Did you worry then that this behavior might shame victims from coming forward? You admitted in your own memoir that Hillary Clinton told you about one accuser, quote, "We have to destroy her story." Did you object? Did you say, "That's shaming"? No. In fact, you later described yourself as Bill Clinton's, quote, "enabler." But sir, how could you have enabled and defended a man like this, accused by multiple women of sexual assault and harassment? Which brings us to Paula Jones. You were Clinton's attack dog when Jones came forward claiming Bill Clinton had exposed himself to her. That when he was governor of Arkansas, he summoned her through state troopers to a Little Rock, Arkansas hotel room and took out a charge Clinton denies, just as Trump denies E. Jean Carroll's allegations against him. What do you think he wanted done with that thing, George? Just a little show and tell? Jones was poor, a graduate of secretarial school, and worked for the state. She had no power, no connections, and he was the sitting governor. She didn't go to Columbia and Oxford and become a Rhodes Scholar like you, George. She was a nothing to you. Your buddy Carville immediately went after Ms. Jones, infamously saying, "If you drag a $100 bill through a trailer park, you never know what you'll find." And you? Did you defend Paula Jones, saying, "We don't shame accusers, that's wrong"? No. You compared Jones to Tanya Harding as, quoting here from the New York Times, "just another woman seeking cash for telling a tabloid tale. Fire up that war room, George, and destroy her." Bill Clinton would ultimately pay Paula Jones almost $1 million to set.
Did you know that? I'm looking at some of the comments here, and some of you guys, somebody goes, "I wasn't even in politics back then." Yep. It goes way back. George Stephanopoulos got his job at ABC because of what went on with the Clintons. And he's been there ever since, getting paid big money. But when it started, he was the guy who was destroying women, the destroyer of claims. He was any woman who came forward and said that Slick Willie whipped out the Willie, whatever happened, he was the one to make it go away. He was the fixer for Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton. What kind of a woman must Hillary Clinton must be? She knew all these women were getting whatever from Bill, and she completely looked the other way for power. Can't even imagine what kind of woman she is. But in any event, it happened. And again, and again, and again, and they started writing 7-figure checks to make people go away and not say what he did, and yet you came on your set and decided you wanted to attack Nancy Mace. That's why when I said earlier he knew specifically what he was doing, because he's got a lot of experience with it. That wasn't new to him. Destroying women is what he made his bones with. A lot of people don't know that. So what he was doing, maybe Nancy didn't know it. I don't know how old she is. I'm going to ask her. We're going to be talking to her real soon. Thank you, Ashley. Got a good, nice interview with her coming up. But in any event, this guy has been destroying women for years. He and Jim Carville have all kinds of badges for what they've done to women that were taken advantage of by their client, Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton. And so as he was sitting there, and I told you, he knew exactly what he was doing. He knew, because of his experience, he could keep saying that word over and over and get her to the point where she felt uncomfortable. And you could see it at the end where she was talking about it. And she's a very good speaker, and she was a little bit off of her game, because I can't imagine being under those lights at ABC Studios talking to, George Stephanopoulos on a live TV show, and this guy keeps drilling it 10 times, making her think about it. Even the strongest of women would get pissed off at what this guy's doing, and he wouldn't stop. Kept going. What a piece of crap. He deserved to be sued for a lot more.
Her civil suit against him, and you remained Team Clinton all the way. To say nothing of Juanita Broderick's allegation or Kathleen Willie's allegations and more. But now you, quote, don't understand how Nancy Mace can support a man found liable for assault of one woman 30 years ago in a civil trial in which the burden of proof is just 51% likely. My God, how did anyone at ABC think this was a good line of inquiry for George Stephanopoulos?
They may not have realized. I mean, sometimes you get these, millennials or different producers who are doing stuff, and they may not realize what the history was with Stephanopoulos and Clinton. And I'm pretty sure when Trump saw what happened, he's like, oh, we're going to own these people. Oh, I can't. Oh, we're going to bring in Hillary. Oh, who's the witness list going to be? We'll get Bill. We'll bring it. But those from a long time ago. Oh, but this is civil. I'm not looking at no statute of limitations on a civil case. I want to talk to the type of man you are, what you've done, how you've interviewed people, what you've done with other women who've been, involved in this unfortunate situation. What have you done to them? Remember, Trump pulled a boss move at the debate with Hillary. Do you remember what he did? All those women that Megyn Kelly just referenced, he brought them in and had them sit in the front row so she had to see them. These women, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, sat in the front row of the debate, the entirety of the debate, and she had to look at these women, knowing what she had done to them. What a psychological move by the boss that was, to throw her off her game. So if I'm ABC and my lawyers go, we could fight it, it's going to get messy. Here's what's going to happen. We're going to go through all this stuff. Trump's going to have the ability to basically look at it all, and he's going to call witnesses one at a time. And he's going to say, so, and, oh, let me see this document. Right now, he's got the media by the cojones. The media is stuck. Because now they know he's serious. He's won a case, which means he's got blood in his teeth. And he's going to keep telling these pit bulls, go after that one, go after that one, go after that one. Strap in. It's going to be phenomenal. And watch as people begin to, as you saw with some of the people on MSNBC, have to get themselves in contortions because now he's got them thinking. They can't just come out flame throwing and say stupid stuff. I'm sure, like The View, remember, The View. The View is owned by ABC, Disney. Watch him have to change them. They have to be very careful. He's hunting wabbits, and he's successful at this. And if it does nothing else, it makes these people think. Paula described Wee Willie's ding dong. Let's see here. You can't spew lies and propaganda, or you get what they did to Rudy. Yep, it's coming. It's going to be fabulous. I can't wait. I love where they're heading with this because they can't match it. There's too much that they've done, and it's all on camera. Oh my God, I've played probably 50 clips of Joy Reid. There's no reason to even play her clips anymore. She's an absolute nut. How many times did Rachel Maddow say something stupid over the last couple of years? You can't get away from the videotape. Did you say this? Yeah, okay, yeah, right. It's wabbit season, man. We're hunting some wabbits. Trump has a great ally in Megyn Kelly. Yeah, lawyer up, baby. Lawyer up. You better do it. And it's only going to get more delicious, Tiger. It's only going to get more delicious. Because now, God help them. Because that's all they have. You can literally go through my library and go, oh, did she say that? Yeah, let's go ahead and just talk to her. And I'm sure at this point he knows, well, obviously, because he just sued ABC, they already know who the attorneys are. Oh, by the way, don't take your coat off. Don't get comfortable. Here's another one. And here's another one. And here, I'm just going to keep you guys running for quite some time. Yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. It's beautiful to watch. They wanted to mess with him, and now, what's that old saying? You mess with the bull, you get the horns. So now the horns are coming right at you. And the thing is, you can't even go on television and whine about it. Because you have to be careful what you say. I bet you hire somebody, your only job right now is to watch these idiots. Let me know when they say something stupid or they just out and out lie. And we can go ahead and go after them. All right, so let's go clean this up and go with the 10.
Here's the big finish. 10 stories that you just gotta hear. Number 10.
Do you still think there's going to be a post-Trump Republican Party, or is MAGA now the Republican Party?
Oh, MAGA is the Republican Party, and Donald Trump is the Republican Party today. And if you were to ask me who the nominee will be in 2028, I think it'll be J.D. Vance, all right? He's smart, well-spoken, part of the MAGA movement.
You said something pretty harsh about him a few months ago, though. You could not have less respect for somebody than J.D. Vance.
Long ago. I'm not going to rehash history. And we've worked together in the Senate since then. But I that is what the Republican Party is. And will the party need to change? Look, the Republican Party has become the party of the working class, middle class voter. And you've got to give Donald Trump credit for having done that, taken that away from the Democrats.
For Mitt Romney to go on CNN and go, yeah, it's the MAGA party right now. There is no Republican Party. Like I've been saying, it's the MAGA party, whether you like it or not. Mitt's going to be right off into the sunset. He's not going to be any kind of a force. And right now, the Lisa Murkowskis, the Susan Collins, the Mitch McConnells of this party, your days are numbered. You realize it right now. Your days are completely numbered. We're coming for you. Like Steve Bannon always says, we're going to pick these people off one by one. And now you got Elon Musk sitting there just, the first bro is just wiping his lips. Can't wait to come for you. You go ahead and come against these people. You're going to have a big primary opponent. It is the MAGA party. We can lose the GOP. I mean, it's over. Done.
9.
This past week, he had this record number of commutations, 1,500 Americans, more than any president in any single day. Among them, though, there was a judge involved in a so-called Cash for Kids scheme that sent thousands of kids to jail for millions of dollars. A man who committed tax fraud at a cost of more than $1.6 billion, described as the most prolific, pernicious, utterly unrepentant tax cheat in U.S. history. A woman who was involved in a $26 million scheme to defraud Medicare. Are you comfortable with some of these decisions?
No. There's also a man in Duluth that was running a major drug house, basically, and had all this money under his bathroom tiles, was also commuted. So the way I look at this is I also didn't agree with the pardon of the president's son.
So now you've got strong Democrats like Amy Klobuchar speaking out and saying, yeah, I don't like what Joe's doing. 8,000 pardons? Come on. Seriously? Who are these people? What's he doing? I'll tell you what he's doing. He's destroying the same Democrat Party that took him out. If you didn't want him doing this, you shouldn't have basically put in cackles. And you pissed him off and you pissed off Jill. And now he's doing whatever he wants. And he's pretty much assuring that Trump and MAGA will be here for quite some time.
Number 8.
Democracy. Well, we know the White House is considering potential preemptive pardons of those who've clashed with President-elect Trump. In light of what the president-elect said to me, that yes, he does think that members of the January 6th committee should go to jail, do you think that Mr. Biden should issue preemptive pardons for the entire January 6th committee? Well, I think he might want to consider that very seriously. Look, that is an outrageous...
Oh, you might want to consider that quite seriously. Even Bernie's terrified. Oh, man. Trump's suing everybody. He's going to put everybody in jail. It's going to get bad.
Statement. This is what authoritarianism is all about. It's what dictatorship is all about. You do not arrest elected officials who disagree with you, who undertake an investigation. So all of us, and I would tell you, Kristen, I think
there are a lot of Republicans. You just heard Lindsey Graham make that statement. I think that idea of Trump is not going to go very far. It is so quite outrageous.
It was notable to hear Senator Lindsey Graham say no point blank when I asked if they should go to jail. Let me ask.
I don't care what you think, Lindsey. This isn't about having people who disagree with you. This is about people who broke the law. And I don't care how high up the food chain you are, if they find out that you broke the law, then you need to get the handcuffs. Pure and simple. Why do I say that? You did it to Trump. He was at the top of the food chain, and you did everything you possibly could to put that man in jail, but for some reason you've got really bad amnesia all of a sudden. You shouldn't go after people you disagree with. When did you start thinking that? March? April? Just now? Because he won November 6th? When did you start thinking you shouldn't go after people you disagree with or a political opponent? Because we watched in real time what you've done for the last couple of years. So sorry, I don't care.
7. We had meetings in D.C. in May where we talked.
This was jaw-dropping. I should have made an entire video, but I'm pretty sure a lot of you wouldn't want to hear it all. This is Mark Andreessen, and he is a big-time investor. I believe he was the starter of Netscape. He's working very closely with Vivek and Elon. He's a billionaire. And he was heavily and still is heavily involved in the development of AI. And he got called to the White House. So he's going to tell you how that meeting at the White House went.
Talked to them about this, and the meetings were absolutely horrifying, and we came out basically deciding we had to endorse Trump.
What did you hear in those meetings?
AI is a technology basically that the government is going to completely control. This is not going to be a startup thing. They actually said flat out to us, don't do AI startups. Like don't fund AI startups. It's not something that we're going to allow to happen. They're not going to be allowed to exist. There's no point. They basically said AI is going to be a game of 2 or 3 big companies working closely with the government, and we're going to basically wrap them in I'm paraphrasing, but we're going to basically wrap them in a government cocoon. We're going to protect them from competition. We're going to control them, and we're going to dictate what they do. And then I said, I don't understand how you're going to lock this down so much, because like the math for AI is like out there and it's being taught everywhere. And they literally said, during the Cold War we classified entire areas of physics and took them out of the research community, and like entire branches of physics basically went dark and didn't proceed. And that if we decide we need to, we're going to do the same thing to the math underneath AI.
Wow.
And I said, I've just learned 2 very important things, because I wasn't aware of the former, and I wasn't aware that you were, even conceiving of doing it to the latter.
Your government, had Trump not won, was going to be so, they always worry about authoritarian. Oh, they were far past authoritarian. They were going to be straight up dictators. They were going to take your money. They were going to do everything they possibly can to make life for Americans not American. It was going to be Marxist. It was going to be no religion. It was going to be tax you to death. You were going to be a worker bee. You basically were going to be nothing more than a producer for the elite, including basically controlling AI. They were going to make the Matrix a real life occurrence. You were just going to be plugged in, and all you were going to see was what they were going to allow you to see. That's where they were going with this. Just dwell on it. Even some of you who aren't big into AI, you were about to be a bug. You were going to basically, lack of better words, sleep in the pods, eat the bugs, own nothing, and be happy.
Number 6.
It's clear Mayor Adams is more interested in securing a pardon from the incoming Trump administration than protecting immigrant New Yorkers and upholding our sanctuary city laws. That's a very strong allegation against you, Mayor Adams. Your reaction to that, and are you seeking a pardon from President-elect Trump, or trying to?
Well, John, there's a group of people that spent their entire career from the day I was elected. They have been attacking the administrations and really standing in the way of what we wanted to do around addressing those who are dealing with severe mental health issues, our housing initiative, and he's one of them. He represents 76,000 people in his district, and he has an opinion, but his opinion has often got in the way of moving the city forward, and you just really have to ignore those who are just hurling out negative comments all the time. This is a complicated city of over 8.3 million people, and that is my responsibility. I am not communicating with the president about a pardon. I'm communicating with bringing resources to the city and doing what I have done for the last 3 years, and that is moving this city forward.
Number 5.
I like the idea that Eric Adams understands I went with the wrong team. They told me this was the way to go, and I realize now I made a mistake. And because I realized I made a mistake, they came after me. And now the media is trying to paint it like, you're selling out. You shouldn't be going to Trump. You shouldn't be asking Trump for a pardon. You shouldn't be working with him. The alternative was you guys wanted to put me in jail. You weren't doing these interviews with me. When Biden and Merrick Garland were looking to put me in jail, now I want to help this city, the biggest city, one of the biggest cities in the world, biggest city in the United States, regain its claim. And I also know New Year's Eve is coming, and we've got some big events coming. And this city's turning to crap, and we got to fix it.
This case was so unbelievably weak in the first place. She has, her credibility is nowhere to be found. She is accused a babysitter's boyfriend, a dentist, a camp counselor, an unnamed college date, an unnamed boss.
Glenn is talking about all of the people that E. Jean Carroll has, said have done things to her. She's got a laundry list of men over years that have. She must be the most unlucky woman in the world. It just keeps happening to her. She's bat poop crazy.
And CBS chief Les Moonves of either sexually assaulting or her in the past. I mean, wow.
She's quite the target.
An awful lot of people. She's
don't be alone in a room with E. Jean Carroll if you were a man.
Oh boy, don't be in the room with her alone. Nope. Don't even go near there. Nope, wouldn't do it.
4.
Donald John Trump is going to raise his hand on a King James Bible and take the oath of office. His third victory in his second term. And the Viceroy, Mike Davis, tells me, since it doesn't actually say consecutive, that, I don't know, maybe we do it again in 28. Are you guys down for that? Trump 28? Come on, man.
Number.
Could you even imagine? I don't think he will. I really don't think he will, because by then, he'll be, 82 or something? 83. He won't want to. Bring some new blood in. But it's enough to drive these nuts crazy. So it's worth talking about.
3.
A lot of these lawmakers in Washington that are against Donald Trump, they're Democrats. They're upset that Kamala didn't win. So they're saying they're not going to go to his inauguration. I think we have a list of a lot of those lawmakers that are saying we're not going.
What bad sportsmanship, right? I mean, it's just so ugly. I talked about this a little bit on the weekend. I took my kids to Barack Obama's inauguration.
It's history.
Does anybody really care if these people don't show up? I mean, who are they making themselves out to look like idiots to? Because I don't care if any of them show up. Personally, tell you the truth, I don't care if there's an inauguration. I would just assume that Trump have a big gala party in Mar-a-Lago and then basically get to work. The man has lived a life of glamour. I don't need to basically have people at a party that don't like me. Have you ever had a party and said, you know what? Who are we going to invite, honey? We're going to invite these people. How about should we invite these people who don't like me? Said nobody ever. Said no one. I mean, it doesn't happen. And so they're out there thinking they're making statements. I'm going to refuse to go to Trump's inauguration. So? I don't care.
And it was freezing. Yes, so cold. Yes. But I did it because I was like, it's an honor to be invited to this. And so these are just poor sports. You know, there are 5 stages of grief. Yeah. And so, like, the last is acceptance. And you're seeing some, like, you know, Senator Fetterman and a few others who are accepting what's happened, that Trump won, that this is where the country's at. Mm-hmm. And then you have a bunch of other people, you know, who are still stuck in another step. They have to go through more.
They're still angry.
They're angry.
In step 1 or 2.
Denial.
All right.
Number 2.
Hear me when I say this. That's
okay. Before she starts talking, just as you watch this, about a 30-second clip, be happy. This woman decided she was going to do a speech at a holiday party, and like she may have been into eggnog a little bit early.
That fuels the countless hours and days and months of work that you have put into this. That spirit can never be defeated. Our spirit is not defeated. We are not defeated. Let's be clear about that. We are strong. We are clear about why we are in this. And because you're here right now, I say, again, thank you, because not only are you clear about all of that, you're willing to put in the hard work. And that work must continue. We cannot let any circumstance or situation or individual ever take away our power to know why we do what we do and our ability to then get that work done.
I have no idea what she's talking about. I watched it a couple times, and I'm like, thank you, Lord. Thank you, truly thank you. I do mean it. Thank you. Can you imagine if that woman was president? And what she's talking about makes no sense. We can never give up our power. What power? You lost. You spent $1 billion and went nowhere. You completely became a blip on radar. Go away. You and, horse milkshake Timmy, you're done. You have no power. Your entire party has no power. You are a footnote at this point. You were the candidate who got her butt stomped. There's no power, honey. You're done. And in fact, what Trump is trying to do next, which I hope he can do, is going to basically eliminate all Democrat power.
Number 1.
We ought to go to all paper. All paper. They have now watermark paper. It's incredible what you can do with paper. Right. But we go all paper, same day voting, and voter ID. A little thing like voter ID.
Can you imagine if we had sanity like that? Voter ID, same day voting, paper ballot. That's it. That's it. Nothing else to talk about. They would never, now I say they won't get voted in for quite some time. If that were to happen, they would never get voted in. I believe the cheat is so big in so many different areas that they have to rely on what they've been doing to do anything to have any viability whatsoever. They would have no viability if somehow we were able to make that happen. If we can get voter ID, if we can get same day voting, and if we can get basically make sure that these people don't cheat and have paper ID, same day, game over. Now, I started this show talking about what happened today in Wisconsin. And the news is coming out that indeed the person who did the shooting was what we thought. A very, very, very disturbed person. I'm not going to go too deep here because it's YouTube. But it's not a gun problem. It's a mental problem. You see the name there, so you can begin searching on X, and you can begin seeing all the different posts, which I wouldn't possibly be able to post here. But your worst fears are going to be confirmed. The manifesto, I thought I saw a copy of the manifesto as well, but it just keeps happening. I mean, somebody posted this as well. And it's just over and over and over. There's something wrong. This isn't how things are supposed to be. I know you know it. There's no doubt that you know it. Society has to realize we need to stop this. This is crazy town. This is absolutely crazy. Man. England has paper ID and it works same day results. Yeah. The truth about that. Exactly. I know. Don't invite them. Yeah, don't come. If you don't want to, don't come. The fact that 75 million people still voted for that is terrifying. True. But I don't think 75 million did. Does this make it 100%? I don't know if it's 100%, but it's high. Is that, you should have put, is that the school shooter? Yeah, that is it. Parents need to be held accountable for their kids' actions, period. Absolutely. I knew it. It's sad because we're not even allowed to address it. We can't talk about it. We should be able to say, hey, this is something wrong with this. But, unless they decide to pull they'll shut it down. I'll get a note. Hey, sorry, we can't have that on here. Because you're shaming. Meanwhile, there's dead kids. Unbelievable. Hey, listen, if you'd like to join us over on X, please do so. Let me pull this up here. Where is it? I got to move the comment. Join us go to fanfareshop.org/group. And I got to make a new graphic because it's now 12,000 plus. Thank you very much. It's completely free for you to join. Completely free for you to join. So just go over there and you can get on X and get your feet wet and talk to some of the same people that you talk to in here. Somebody had posted earlier, Barry, do you have a Discord? And I'm like, you don't need one. If you go on X, you can literally post something and talk to people about it. A lot of these people you're seeing right now in the chat, you can go ahead and actually talk. So I invite you to join. It's free. And you just have to log on, and once you're in there, you can talk to everybody. Talk to Ashley, talk to me, talk to SV. Everybody's there. So come on in. Tonight at 7:30, if you'd like to enter to win a hoodie, go to fanfareshop.org. And once you're there, you can go ahead and enter to win. And we're going to give away some hoodies tonight. Let's see here. So with that, let me go ahead and do the super chats if any of them are in here. Yeah, that is the same speech that somebody wrote. It's the same speech Kamala always gives. Yeah, all right. Darren Katzenberger in 26 won't take the oldest present title. Yeah, it's true. Demon of Cybertron. Hey, Kamala, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you. Let's see here. What's this? Solark M7. What if somebody flew a drone at Area 51? Oh, it'd get blowed up real quick, probably. Like instantaneous. Robert Vasquez, thank you. Leader of the Rhinos, Mitt Romney stated the obvious. We are MAGA. No more Republican Party. I told you 20 years ago you'd never get another dime. Paula Guerri, Barry, thank you for all the information. I love your humor. You are my favorite on YouTube. Oh, thank you very much. That means a lot. Michael Dorsey, but I don't have $107,000 for a coin. All you got to do is spend like $10. You don't have to spend $107,000. By the way, did it hit 107 while we've been on the air? Sue, please play the winning clip. Oh, you want to hear some more winning?
We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more.
Yeah, definitely appropriate today, for sure. Let's see, where am I here? Eric West, welcome to the 12,000 Club. Thank you very much. Sandra J.G. Thompson. George S. may have been favoring Bill Clinton, too. Yeah, probably. For quite some time, actually. What are we here? LS says you can't say the word on YouTube. Nope, can't say it. If you notice, some people, even on X, abbreviate it. They don't even go there. Hey Joy, I have no problem learning, especially about new things. I'm just the old school, need a lot of help and patience in the learning. Of course, that's what learning is all about, having people there to show you the way. Ashley had texted me, so I know some of you guys may not like this, but Joe McGee is ready to do a live where you guys can all ask your questions if you want to. If you want me to do that, let me know. If you want Joe, the guy from the video last night, to come on live and ask questions, go ahead and put it in the chat. If Biden was incompetent to stand trial, he would have been removed office at that time. Yeah, why wasn't he? Ronald Zimmerman, thank you very much. Mega Troop, sorry Barry, but I'm going to buy Bitcoin in lieu of Super Chats, not to where you'll be on VOA soon. Hey man, anything you're doing to better your life, you got to do that. Do that. Kim Hansen, Barry, have you seen Mark Levin yesterday? It literally made my blood boil. What Biden is doing will bankrupt us, trying to sabotage. Yep, I didn't see him, but I have been following what Biden's been doing. Thank you, Patty. This is from Viking King. There are no more Dems or Republican. History is being made. President Trump has opened a new era. I firmly believe that. Tommy, how you doing, bro? Hey, guys, all is well for airlines. Notice to mission. No drones looking for warhead. Radioactivity disrupts our ILS and other NAVs we must know about. Like I said, the man kind of chuckled. I better go ahead and, yeah, I'm going to cancel my flight to Bedminster. That was funny. And Terrence Walker, thank you very, very much. And let me just see what else is in here. Darren Katzenberger. In 26, won't he take the oldest president trial? If he were to run, but it would be 2028, not 2026. Mama Mima, we have stopped treating mental illness. Tragedy will continue as long as we keep treating these behaviors as normal. See, a lot of people don't want to do that. They don't want to turn things around and let people know that this stuff is not normal. In fact, saying it's not normal is something they don't want us to even be talking about. They don't want us to be even, discussing this. I also want to say thank you. I had a Rumble donation from Bevel. Bevel says Ephesians 6:12 gets to the source of what's happening. Ephesians 6:12. I'll have to look that up. Yeah, abnormality has become normal. And that's what they've tried to push down everybody's throat. Hopefully these next 4 years we can turn it back and understand what they were trying to do was to basically hurt America. And these kids were taken advantage of. They're just useful pawns. I mean, it didn't happen when we were growing up. It's not that we knew of. In any event, you guys will be on at 7:30. Wait a second, I had a late from KRO. As per Elon, all government spending is from taxation, all of it. And they spend it without our consent. Yeah, it's got to change. I completely agree. All right, that's about it right now. Thank you guys. See you guys at 7:30. If you have seizures or prone to them, don't watch the outro. But other than that, we'll see you in 2 hours. Cool. I think I like the 3 o'clock time. You guys like the 3 o'clock instead of 3:30? I hope so. Talk to you soon.